Hello and welcome to Transformed. I'm your host, Josh McMullen. Transformed is a podcast where we will discuss and explore topics and ideas on how to transform our current lives and be the person that we need to be in our personal lives and the person that God created us to be. So today, I want to talk about dieting. Before we dive into that, I also want to touch base on the mission statement episode as well, and wanted to emphasize that I do want to share and grow together. And I mentioned, to follow me on Instagram, but I never gave out a username. So my username for Instagram is rev_McMullen94. I do eventually plan on getting a website. That way we can maybe interact through a website together, but we'll just see how that grows. Things for this podcast will, be changing and growing as the podcast grows. So hopefully a website will be in the future. But until then, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram with your thoughts on the episode, questions on how to improve, maybe going further on the topic, but also, send me some stuff on what you would like to see for future episodes. And I could do kind of a deep dive on my experience with that topic and then do some research as well into that area. So if you have goals, transformation stories, it's another part of it too. Share them, and I can throw them out there on this podcast, on episodes, future episodes. So I guess kind of back to the topic of dieting, food, eating. They're such an important part of our lives and our culture, and it's literally how our lives are shaped. So in the process of changing or transforming, usually the physical appearance is going to be the first thing that most people notice. I mean, unless you're living with somebody, right? Then they might notice some of the personality changes or some other stuff that you might try to be, you're trying to work on and trying to transform. But usually, whether you're working with individuals or casual friends, right? The physical appearance is going to be the first thing that most people notice. And for the most part, actually might be the main goal that most of us have. I once played a game with a lot of people at work. And some of my family members, I forget exactly where I heard it, but if you could change one thing about you that technology does not have, the capability of changing. So whether it's your height, right? You could be 6'6", or you can have the perfect metabolism where you can eat whatever you want, right? What thing would you add and change about yourself that you actually can't go out and do? So that's just kind of like a fun game to play of truly seeing what you would want. I think mine was a mix of the metabolism and maybe hair. I know you can get the hair thing, but without having to get hair replacement. So I think the weight is always such a key issue or really just even physical appearance is such a key issue for a lot of people's lives and a lot of people's day to day, just because it can affect your emotions, and it can affect how you process information, how you process relationships, how you view yourself. So weight is usually the key on a lot of people. It's been, something that's been on my mind. I mean, it's still on my mind, but it's been on my mind for years, probably since I was, 15. That's usually, it seems like at least for me, is when it kicked in of what other bodies look like and what, weight looked like on me. So with the weight, right, whether it's weight loss, dieting, and food, there's always those trends that exist out there, because I think people are always searching on how to diet, how to do it quick, whether it's a quick diet, like the keto diet. I know is pretty popular now for I don't want to call it a quick fix, but hey, you can lose a lot of weight quick. There's no magic pill out there to take away the inches, to take away the pounds, but I think a lot of the time we're searching for that magic answer. And unfortunately there isn't. That's just a fact. And I really want to note that for a lot of the transformation, right? If you're out there, you're looking to change and grow and be a different person, for the most part, it's going to be a lot of work, and it might be the hardest thing that you've ever done. Rome wasn't built in a day, and you didn't gain weight in a day. In fact, if you look at the weight gain and the weight loss, I kind of like the idea of analogy that I use with a lot of people is it's like a brick house, right? Trying to build a brick house. So when you're gaining weight, it took a lot of bricks to get there, and you're going to have to remove a lot of bricks. And you can't just take a crane and knock the knock the brick house down, right? You got to remove it brick by brick, just like you gained it, right? I think you can build a brick house pretty quick, but tearing it down is a lot harder. So, especially when you do it brick by brick. So, if you think of that analogy, right, it's going to be hard work, but you're going to have to each day, take that brick away, right? Remove the house and be patient with the process, because it's not going to be an overnight. It's Wednesday night now, right? It's not, you're not going to wake up Thursday, man, I'm 10 pounds lighter. And for the most part, it takes a long time. This is a process, and this is a goal that you should have for one. This is going to be the next 6 months to 2 years to change your body, to depending on how much weight you have to lose, or what you're trying to change. But then also you got to look at, what am I going to do for the rest of my life, right? So in 6 months down the road, if you've hit your goal, but what do you do after that goal? So I think the biggest thing is, so when you're looking at dieting, when you're looking at changing food and transforming your eating habits, you got to look at something of how you can stick to something long term. What can you do, not just for a fad like keto, like what can you do for 6 months, but realistically, what are you going to do the rest of your life? What are you going to do for the next 10 years? Because most likely you might have to change every 10 years depending on your age and depending on your habits and what your health looks like in 10 years. So I think the best way to take down that brick, right, is to look at just calorie deficit. So weight loss is like a math problem. So it takes 3,500 calories, like a deficit, 3,500 calorie deficit to lose 1 pound of fat. So if you have a 500 calorie deficit each day, so for 1 week, that's 3,500, you would lose 1 pound a week. Doesn't seem like a lot of progress, but that would be 52 pounds in 1 year. So imagine yourself 52 pounds lighter. So if you look at that, right, 1 pound, it really wouldn't be that much of a weight loss difference in the 1 week. But in terms of a year, in 6 months to 1 year, you could be completely changed. 20 pounds could be a pant size. 52 pounds, I mean, you're buying a whole new wardrobe, right? Your view of yourself is going to be completely different 20 pounds from now and 50 pounds from now. So if you look at it in a 6 month to 1 year time frame, you could be, if you started today, August of next year, you could be 52 pounds lighter, if not more. And that's just if you just do a calorie deficit. That doesn't include exercise. That doesn't include if you try to stretch that a little bit more and make it maybe 2 pounds a week, right? So it just depends on what your goals are, what you're able to do, and how much weight you're wanting to lose. So if you don't exercise at all, right, roughly the average body, let's say, I know most of the diets are based on 2,000 calories. So you just cut out 500. In 1 year, you can lose 52 pounds. Keep that up, and you'll be a lot lighter. You'll be down pant sizes, dress sizes. You will feel so much better about yourself. Your emotional performance will be better. Your mental performance is going to be a lot better. Your confidence is going to be through the roof, and you'll be amazed of what confidence will do. I just feel like I finally started dabbling in what confidence even feels like. And I'm 27 years old. So look at weight loss as one, what can you do for the rest of your life? But two, look at it as like a math problem. How can I have a caloric deficit each day? What helps me is some people have smartwatches. I think that's a lot more people having smartwatches today. Is a lot of the time they count calories for you. They judge your movement, your heart rate. They judge your activity levels. And a lot of the time they tell you how many calories you burn. And a lot of those apps also have the ability to kind of keep track of what you're eating as well. Like you just add in, like, I had an orange today, or I had a glass of milk, right? That would be another good thing, is maybe just keep track of the calories that you eat and the calories, where your calories are going. So that's really another thing, is take inventory of what you eat throughout the day. You don't have to do it. I wouldn't recommend. It's a lot of effort. I've tried it. It's a lot of work to kind of keep track each and every day of what you're eating. But I would say take a general, like a Monday or Tuesday, right? And take a sample of what am I eating? What did I eat for breakfast for one day? And if that's what you normally do, then you have a general idea that, hey, I eat X amount of calories for the day. And now you can look and see, okay, where can I take away from to get down to that 500 deficit? Is it coffee, right? Am I putting too much sugar and cream in my coffee? Am I having too much milk? Am I having too much juice? Am I having, pop? Pop's kind of a sneaky one where the calories, fat, sugar is kind of a bad combo of everything. Tastes wonderful, but horrible for you. So that's something that you look at. Pop. Am I sneaking in a brownie? Where are the calories going? And then that way you can determine what you got to cut out. So you got to take inventory of what's going in before you can kind of learn to cut out things. So look at that 500 calorie deficit, take inventory, get a smartwatch if you can. I wear a Fitbit. That really helps me with keeping track of my sleep, keeping track of my activity levels, right? I set goals for, what kind of activity, what kind of exercise I want to do. And you can kind of see the progress of the calories you burn, the quality of your exercise, the quality of your sleep, the quality of really of your day in terms of motion and steps. So just try to maybe purchase some, if you can't purchase, like a smartwatch or something, then just keep track. There's other apps out there like MyFitnessPal can keep track of your calories, and that way you can just at least see what's going in, right? You might not know what you could base it off the 2,000 calorie diet and at least see what's going out. So, diets are a big thing. So if you're not going to do the caloric deficit, right, there's a lot of popular diets out there. I do want to explore kind of the diets from at least my perspective and how the diets worked for me. I feel like throughout the course of the last several years, I've at least tried a few of them, so I can kind of go over some pros and cons and how applicable they are to sticking with, which again is crucial for that long-term success. So try a little exercise here. How many diets can you think of right off the top of your head? Right, without going out and Googling it right now, how many diets do you think exist? So I know when I thought of that, of how many diets existed, I thought of like maybe 10, 15 diets. Off the top of my head, I could do 9. I didn't, I thought of the ketogenic diet or ketogenic diet, however you say it. I never heard tomato on that one. So keto, paleo, Atkins, Whole30, the Mediterranean diet, Weight Watchers, intermittent fasting, vegetarian, and veganism. So I guess 9 for me is kind of what I came up with. But really, if you actually look at a lot of the websites about what diets exist, I don't even think intermittent fasting is on most of those. I think it might be more of a method, and this is kind of where, again, I'm not a dietitian or an expert in this category, just kind of trying to lose weight. So I'm not sure if intermittent fasting actually counts as a quote-unquote actual diet. Maybe it's just a method of eating or fasting. But so if that counts, then I got 9. If it doesn't, then 8. So if you do go out on Google, probably can find different numbers on this. But first thing I saw was an article that said 38 best and worst diets. So there's some I knew, some I didn't, but I didn't guess the 38 at all. So nearly 40 diets are out there in existence. Again, I think a lot of them are going to be pretty close to each other. I thought from just a quick overview and read of some of them, they're going to be at least branch off, whether it's a low-carb diet, a vegan diet, there's the meat eater diet. There's like carnivore diet. They're all going to branch off of whether they're trying to reduce your calories, reduce your carbs, or reduce your sugars, or cut out meat entirely if you're trying for like the vegetarian stuff. So I guess kind of something you can reach out to me is like, what kind of diets are you on? What methods have you tried? What are some of your success stories that you have with your diets? What are are you doing the keto? Are you doing paleo? Are you just out there struggling, trying to find something to do? Let me know what you've tried and what you're doing, and if it works and if it doesn't work. I know from my experience, I've tried a few different ones. Again, I really wouldn't consider myself right now on any diets. I just try to tend to follow a mixture of several diets, and I'll go into more detail of kind of what my what my experience is and what I do